Yo, what's going on, GameFace Studios? It is StraitOuttaBoston here, aka the King of Boston, and today we are back for an online ranked match on NBA 2K14 Next Gen. I know I have not posted in a while. I was waiting on getting my Elgato for recording on Next Gen. I used to use an HD PVR, but I really not figured out a way on how to use the HD PVR on the PS4, so I had to buy an Elgato, and I also had to buy the HDCP or HDMI splitter, whatever that bypasses the HDCP patch, so I could record on Next Gen. So it's been a little while, but here we are in NBA 2K14 on the PlayStation 4, and we're doing an online ranked match. I'm using the Portland Trailblazers, my opponent is using the Minnesota Timberwolves, and I've been playing a lot of online ranks here in NBA 2K14 Next Gen. Now, I have to wait to start my GM. I don't have to wait, but I'm going to be waiting to start my GM until I can find a good roster set with some of the missing players on it, as well as a 2015 draft class, which I've still yet to find. So I've been playing a lot of online ranked in my free time while trying to get some NBA 2K14 action in. And Robin Lopez with the early slam right there makes it a 2-0 game. So I figured I'd post one here on GameFace Studios, and I decided to use the Portland Trailblazers. I usually mix it up. I don't use the same team very often, and this time I just decided I would want to play with the Portland Trailblazers, one of the really good young teams so far in the early beginnings of the season. They're not too young, but they are a pretty young team. LaMarcus Aldridge is in his prime, but Lillard's pretty young. Wesley Matthews is still relatively young. Nicholas Batum's still relatively young. Robin Lopez still relatively young. They're kind of all in their mid-20s at this point, a lot of these guys, but Lillard's only like 23. But nonetheless, Wesley Matthews pulling up for the three right here. He knocks that one down. And Wesley Matthews has had a great start to the year. He is, I believe he's averaging close to 20 points a game at this point. He has been really good. But Robin Lopez was doing really well for me in this game. He was just getting all the rebounds. He was being a big body down low. And I don't know if it was his height advantage over Nikola Pekovic or what it was, but he was just getting a lot of looks down low and finishing those. So it was good to see. Corey Brewer with the ball being covered by Dorrell Wright. One thing that Portland really did well this year was add to their bench. They've had kind of the same starting five for the last couple of years. I mean, Batum was, once they traded Gerald Wallace, Batum took over for the small forward in the lockout season. And then, you know, LaMarcus Aldridge was always there. They kind of, you know, had been swapping around between different power forwards and centers to pair with LaMarcus Aldridge. They had like J.J. Hickson for a while. They have Thomas Robinson now, but they did add Robin Lopez in the offseason. And then they also obviously drafted Damian Lillard in the 2012 NBA draft, I believe, the 2012 NBA draft. He seats the three right there. But they've kind of had the same core of guys for a while, and they've just started to add to them recently. Added kind of nice bench pieces like Thomas Robinson, Mo Williams especially, Dorrell Wright. I talked about Robin Lopez already. So they kind of started to build around the guys that they have, and it's worked out really well for this team. And a lot of people talked about how they were a good team in spurts last year. They just lacked the bench. They had to play their starters like 38 minutes a game. But now that they have a bench, a lot of people thought they could try to make the playoffs this year. Well, they've done more than that so far. They are looking at a top seed in the West if the playoffs started now. But obviously, we'll see if they cool down. I believe they will cool down a little bit later in the year. They reminded me of the Warriors a lot last year. The Warriors started out 20-10 and then went 25-25 for the second half of the season from that point on. They started 22-10 and then went 25-25, excuse me, in their last 50 games of the season. So they might cool down a little bit like the Warriors did. But we will see. The thing with the Warriors, they had a really tough second half schedule last year. I haven't really looked at the Trailblazers schedule, but we'll see what it is. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head if they have a tough one or an easy one. But nonetheless, check out Derek Williams pulling up for three, and he knocks that one down at the half. My opponent takes a 3-point lead. Oh, that was backbreaking right there. I just tied the game up, and he comes right back down with the three from Derek Williams. The recently traded Derek Williams. By the time I recorded this or whatever, recorded this gameplay, they did not have the updated rosters. I don't know if by the time this video goes up, they will have the updated rosters with Derek Williams on the Kings. But here's Wesley Matthews once again, who is really one of my favorite role players in the NBA. He's just a really good D&3 guy. He's a great defender, but he can hit the three, gives you some good athleticism. I just think he's a really good role player and a very affordable contract that, if Portland was a rebuilding team and I was a contender, I would trade for in a heartbeat. But Dorrell Wright with the ball, giving it to LaMarcus Aldridge. And I didn't get LaMarcus Aldridge involved too much in the first half because I tried to force feed him a little bit. And it just ended up not working. I wasn't getting any quality looks with them because I remember playing with them in 2K13. And I did really well with LaMarcus Aldridge. So I figured I'd try to go back to that. But it wasn't working. And here I just kind of let the offense flow a little bit more in the second half, and it was working a lot better. You can see we've opened up an 11-point lead. A miss right there, but Mo Williams gets the steal, comes right back, spins around. I don't know what I'm doing here. I give it to Robin Lopez for like the weird Euro step layup. I don't know what that was. Crazy sequence. We go up by 13, And here, Wesley Matthews on the boards. Excuse me, that's not Wesley Matthews on the boards, but Alexis Chevette on the break. Up to Corey Brewer. Sweet alley-oop right there. They cut the lead back down to 11. But on the inbound, I give it to Aldrich. And Aldrich just uses the contact so well in this game. He has finisher, so he can really make a lot of layups down inside of the paint, really. CJ McCollum in. And CJ McCollum is the guy that the Trailblazers haven't even had so far this year. He's been out with a broken foot or whatever. I think it's like a stress fracture, but man, I was playing with the Mo Williams, CJ McCollum backcourt, which you're definitely going to see a lot of in the second unit when McCollum gets healthy. That's going to be a lethal backcourt. Both guys can kind of handle the ball. They can shoot. They can score. I think it's going to be a really good backcourt when both those guys come back. Here's Lillard for three. He knocks that one down. He's a very good outside shooter. He was showing it right there. We opened up a 15-point lead. Kevin Martin with the ball. He's trying to get back into the game with some threes, and he has the right team to do it. He's got Kevin Martin on his team. He's got Kevin Love. He's got Chase Budinger who can knock down a couple threes. Here's Budinger looking for Kevin Martin. A deep three, and he gets it once again. So just like that, the lead's back down to 9. And this ball game is not over yet. It's down to 8 here. We're looking for the pick from Robin Lopez. And sometimes this guy just like didn't play defense. I don't know what he was doing. But Robin Lopez and one slams it. We open up the lead back to 11 now. That's a rebound for Nikola Pekovic. He's going to give that one out to Kevin Martin. And I'm just trying to do everything I can to stop the three. And I end up leaving him wide open. And Kevin Martin knocks it down once again. It's a 10-point lead still, though. Lillard looking for Wesley Matthews. Gives it to LaMarcus Aldridge for the mid-range, and he can knock down that shot any day of the week. It's back up to a 13-point lead. That's a miss. Rebounded by Robin Lopez. Here comes Damian Lillard on the break. He's just going to pull up for an 18-footer, and he'll knock that one down. It's up to a 15-point lead with 1:30 to play. That should pretty much seal this ball game. Here he comes, though, trying to pull that bull right here, and he's going to end up getting the left-handed hook with Nikola Pekovic to cut it back down to 13, but I'm fine with giving him those 2-pointers all day at this point. I know I can just run clock here. I'm playing really slow. I'm just trying to get an open look or running some clock, and Robin Lopez is there for the mid-range. So it's a 13-point lead. Kevin Love with the ball. He's going to pull up for 3. He misses. That's rebounded by Pekovic. Pekovic will put it back up, but like I said, he can have all those 2-pointers he wants at this point. There's only 13 seconds left. Brewer with the ball. Forces up a 3. That's no good, but Ronnie Turioff is there. He puts it in. So a couple late baskets cuts this one to a 9-point game, but that would be the final score. CJ McCollum dribbles out the clock, and we end up taking it home 81-72. So GameFace Studios, let me know if you would like to see some more online ranked gameplay. I have another gameplay where Tayshaun Prince drops like 40 points on the Warriors and shuts down Andre Iguodala. If you guys don't want to see that, I'll probably post that on my channel. But nonetheless, let me know if you want to see some more online ranked. Other than that, I'm not sure what type of content I'm going to be posting over here on GameFace Studios. Probably some 2K, but we'll see. Not really sure. It's the only next-gen game I have right now outside of NBA Live, but that's if you count NBA Live as an actual game. So, LaMarcus Aldridge, player of the game. You can check out his highlights here. We also have the box score coming up at the end of the video. But LaMarcus Aldridge, really known as one of the more underrated players in the NBA. Him and Al Horford, I think, are both kind of criminally underrated, as someone said in my live stream the other night. But anyway, just they go under the radar. You know, Horford, he was kind of behind Joe Johnson and Josh Smith for a while, so he didn't get a lot of attention. And then LaMarcus Aldridge just played on a bad team for the last couple of years. He plays up in Portland. They don't get a lot of primetime games. You know, they play at like 10:30. Not a lot of people see the guy play. So, you know, he was just very underrated for a while, but he's starting to get some attention this year. I would say he's probably going to be an all-star. I don't remember if he was an all-star last year, but probably should have been. Nonetheless, that was a great performance by LaMarcus Aldridge, putting up 20 points in an online ranked game. You can see we shoot, I believe that says 58%. We hold them to under 50. That's always good. They went 10 to 27 from the 3. That was a big advantage for us. You can see the stat line here. Kevin Martin, 16 points on 13 shots. Kevin Love, 14 points on 12 shots. So we kind of held his big-name players to an inefficient type of day. I guess, I don't know, it depends if you consider Kevin Martin big name, but he was certainly shooting a lot with him. You can see Robin Lopez with a huge game. He gets, what is that, like 18 points and 6 rebounds or something? I can't quite read that, but great performance. Nonetheless, that's going to wrap it up. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you did enjoy. And peace.